let's talk about testing. So we are still in the very early stages of testing because the only reason to test was to make products, and products have only been being made now for a year and a half. And so testing is problematic. There was only one company out in California that was doing it this whole time. And in the last 2 years, a lot of companies have decided to start testing because all these products are being made and there was a high demand. I believe a lot of companies are going to quit testing because the demand is going down right now, and because testing is problematic. It's problematic for several reasons. Number one, we don't understand this mushroom yet. We only recently are figuring out that there are different kinds of muscimol. We've only recently learned that there's isomers of ibotenic acid and potentially other types of ibotenic acid, which I want to talk about, and I'm going to make a separate video about my theory or my hypotheses about that, and about these different forms of ibotenic acid and what I think they're doing in the body and why I think testing is so messed up with ibotenic acid. And because I went through this testing my products, and so when you test something, what I would do in the way I made my products, I would get the chemist to make it the way I want him to make it, and then I would get samples of it, and then I would try it, and I'd say, not yet, try this, let's try this, let's try this, let's get it where we need it to be. And when I knew it felt the way it needed to feel, doing what I know what was supposed to do, I would say, okay, I think we've got it, let's send it for testing. And because testing is expensive, and it's coming down, it was around $700, and in some places it's still about $700. Some places you can get it a little less for each product you want to test. And the problem is right now is that once you send it to get it tested, the only things they know to look for is thiomuscimol, muscimol, and ibotenic acid. Ibotenic acid is all over the place. It's wonky. It makes no sense. So even in my products that I know that we have got an extract that is, and we'll talk about the difference between whole mushroom and extracts and all that stuff in another video. It's a lot. I've learned so much. So if you test for something that you know you have fully converted, and then it comes back that the ibotenic acid is in equal amounts to muscimol, that makes 0 sense. And then if you send it for testing at another lab and it comes back as there's more ibotenic acid than muscimol, those two don't make any sense. If you test the same sample again at the same lab and it tests differently yet again, that makes no sense. And that is what this mushroom is doing to us. And is it any wonder? And it makes me love this mushroom so much more. That's the Loki side, right? Ibotenic acid is Loki, the jester, the jokester, and it's just laughing. It's one of the reasons this mushroom is just not going to be tamed. So it's a double-edged sword with testing. But I have my theories. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out because there will be the drive to figure it out. The need by these labs to get accurate testing. The capitalism will push the market to figure it out because they want to be the lab that's got accurate testing. They want to be able to say, we figured it out. We know what to test for. It's going to show up the way it feels in your body and what you're saying you did in the lab and how you converted it. We now know how to test accurately and consistently every single time. And the only way to do that is to learn more about ibotenic acid and why it's so wonky, and how to figure out if there are different kinds, and then to develop standards so that you can test for those different kinds. So right now the testing is weird, but I'm okay with it because what I know about my product is I am so careful and exacting about it that it's going to give you what the label is saying. The conversion is what you're going to get when you take it, regardless of how wonky maybe the testing comes out to be. And I still will always show my test results. But it's still early. This is part of the process. So please find me at amanitadreamer.net and support the work. It's a free site. I don't even ask for your email address or anything. But if you want to keep up with what's going on, where I'm going to be, classes I'm teaching, items I'm making, where I'm going to be in your neighborhood, if I'm going to be in your neighborhood, it's all in my newsletter. It only comes out twice a month. I love you, beautiful people. Thanks for listening. Bye.